Let's revise together first the three different rules of powers. So the first rule, what happens when you multiply terms. So when you multiply terms to the same base, so for example, if I have a to the power of 3 times a to the power of 5, when you multiply, you add the powers. So the answer is a to the power of 8. Okay, if you so I'll just write it in here as a rule. A, B plus C. When you divide, you minus the powers. So a to the power of 3 over a to the power of 5 equal a to the power of 3 minus 5, and that's giving me a to the power of negative 2. And because it's a negative power, we always write our answer as a positive powers. So remember, when we change it from negative to positive, we take the reciprocal, so it will be 1 over a to the power of 2, because here a to the power of negative 2 in the numerator, so we take the reciprocal to change it to a positive, so become in the denominator. Okay, so the rule is a to the power of b divided by a to the power of c is equal a to the power of b minus c. And then we have the third rule when we have power to power. So for example, when we have a to the power of 3 all to the power of 5. So that's power to power. When we have that, we multiply the powers. So it will be a to the power of 15. So the rule is a to the power of b all to the power of c. Give me a to the power of b, c. Okay, so those are the three different rules of indices or exponents that we revise. Now we're going to do some questions. All right, so now we're going to do some questions so we can practice the exponents rules. So the first one here, we've got a numerator has powers and brackets, and then the denominator. So we apply BEDMAS first. So we will have to solve the answer for simplify the numerator first, and then we simplify the denominator, then we simplify the whole fractions. So we've got 4 to the power of 3 is 64. You can use the calculators for this. A to the power of 2 all to the power of 3. When we add power to power, we multiply them. So a to the power of 6. And then the bottom one's also 64, a to the power of 10. Now we start simplifying. So 64 divided by 64 simplified. And then we simplify the power. So it's a to the power of 6 minus 10. And that's giving me a to the power of negative 4. We always leave the answer as a positive exponent. So we take the reciprocal, will be 1 over a to the power of 4. Down the next one, again we repeat the same thing. So 16 to the power of 1/4. Now it means the fourth root of 16, which is finding which number multiplying by itself 4 times to give me 16. Or if you're not very good at roots, or you forgot how to do roots, then you can use always your calculator. 16 to the power of 1/4. To do it in the calculator, you will press 16 and you press the power button, and then you open brackets, and then you put one ABC button, press the ABC button 4 and close the brackets. So you write 1 over 4 as a fraction, or you can write to the power of 0.25 as a decimal. So it's up to you. Anyway, in both ways, they will give you the answer of 2. X to the power of 2 times 1/4 give me x to the power of 2 times 1/4. If you simplify it, that gives me half. So it will be x to the power of half. Now, the next one is we've got again a term times another term. So we apply BEDMAS. We simplify the first term first, simplify the other, then we multiply them. So we'll do the first one. So the first one is repeated of the previous, so that gives me 2x to the power of half times 9 to the power of half is 3, means the square root of 9, and x to the power of 3 over 2. Now when we multiply, we add the powers to the same base. So 2 times 3 is 6, because numbers just multiply them normally, and that gives me half plus 3 over 2. Now we've got fractions, so half plus 3 over 2 is 4 over 2. And then you can even simplify it further. Give me x to the power of 2. So that's your final answer. This one here, we've got 2 terms. So in here, this is exactly the same as that one. The difference here, you've got the multiplication sign. Here you don't have the multiplication sign, but it means multiply. So we will get the first one first. So 5 times 2, power to power, you multiply. Then you do the second one. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. X to the power of 3. Now you multiply the 2 terms, give me x to the power of 13. For this one here, we've got a negative indices. Now, for the negative indices, it's better to change it to positive first, then simplify. So again, to take it to positive, you take the reciprocal of that. So I will do 1 over 2x to the power of 2 all to the power of 3. And now I can solve it properly. So 1 over 2 to the power of 3 is 8, and 2 times 3 is 6, so 8 to the power of x to the power of 6. So that's the answer. And this one here, then you will also take it as change it into positive indices first. So it will be 5 over 8 to the power of 4 all to the power of 3. And then I would open up that bottom fraction. So I've got 5 to the power of 3 over 8 to the power of 4 all to the power of 3. And then I will do 1 over 5 to the power of 3. So 125 over multiplying 4 times 3 is 8 to the power of 12. And this can be written because 1 over a fraction, so you're flipping the fractions, will give me 8 over 12. Sorry, just writing it properly. It gives me a to the power of 12 over 125. Now there is another way to solve this, which is I found it easier, but give me the same thing. I would expand this first, means. So I'm just going to solve it in a different way here. So I'll expand it first. So it means I will write I'm going to write 5 to the power of -3 first over a and 8 to the power of 4 all to the power of -3. I just expanded the power. And because I want to write the answer as a positive powers, I will flip that fraction around. So take the reciprocal of that fraction, will change the power into a positive. Means I'll write a to the power of 4 all to the power of 3 here over 5 to the power of 3. Just took the reciprocal, that changed the power into positive. And then I can solve it, give me a to the power of 12 over 125. So you can see it's giving me the same answer, but I've solved it differently. I found this method is easier. You just need to remember you expand the -3 first. So you've separate the negative, not expand, separate the power first and then take the reciprocal. Okay, we'll do this one here. So we've got again power to power. So I'll have 0.25 to the power of half. So you can use the calculator, 0.25 to the power of 0.5, and that gives me the answer of 0.5. And then x to the power of 3 over 2. So that was quite easy. This one here, we've got a fraction. So again, you do the numerator first, and then you do the denominator. So we'll do the numerator first. 8 to the power of 1/3, or the third root of 8, which is 2. And 6 times 1/3, that simplifies, gives me 2. So that's why it's x to the power of 2 over. Now you notice this 3 is outside the bracket. That means that power has nothing to do with the 3. X to the power of -8. Now I can't simplify the numbers anymore, but I can simplify the powers because I've got the same base, so it'll give me x to the power of 2 minus negative 8, and that give me 2 over 3 x to the power of 10. So we've got this question here. Again, you can see I've got a negative power, so it's better to separate the powers first. So I've got a to the power of 10 all to the power of negative 2 over 4a to the power of 5 all to the power of negative 2. And then I will take the reciprocal of the fractions. And now I can expand normally, so that gives me 16 a to the power of 10 over a to the power of 20. Now 16 and you minus the powers, so 10 minus 20 give me a to the power of negative 20. Again, you don't want to write it as a negative indices, so we change it into positive. That's why we only taking the terms has the negative power to the denominator. Nothing to do with the number. The number stays in the numerator. Only the term has the negative power moves into the denominator, and that's give me that's negative 10. I've made a mistake, so that's give me a to the power of 10. Okay, so just put a line in here. Now this one here, remember when I said is when you have fractional powers, means it's actually roots. So so any roots can be written as a fractional power. So fifth root mean 1 over 5. Square root mean 1 over 2. Third root mean 1 over 3. So I'm going to rewrite this as a power or indices format. So all to the power, so I've written that all to the power of 1/5. Now I can start expanding. So I'll do the first brackets here, so I'll multiply those two together. All to the power of 3 over 5. Now I can find the answer in the calculator. So 32 to the power of 3 over 5. So you write it 32 to the power of, open bracket, 3, ABC button, 5, close the brackets. Okay, and that's what you see, and then you press enter and give you the answer of 8 over x to the power of 5 times 3 over 5. This 5 with that 5 will cancel out, so it'll give me x to the power of 3. All right, so now the last questions we've got. If a equal a to the power of 3 over 4, find an expression for a to the power of 7 in terms of y. Means you will have to do the power of 7 both sides to get the power of a to the power of 7 equal y 3 over 4 all to the power of 7. And now you just do power to power, so I'll have 21 over 4, and that will be your answer. Thank you for listening.